My name is Curtis Miller, and it's my privilege to facilitate the next part of our program, which is the community conversation piece. Watching this video, I think you would agree with me that this video takes us to the heart of the matter of why we are here tonight and why this room is packed to overflowing. This is a very serious matter, which also means that the next 30 minutes are a critical part of our process. Because for the next 30 minutes, we're going to be expressing how we feel about this situation, declaring how we think it should be addressed. We're going to be asking some questions that will help push this issue forward over the next weeks. And in short, we're going to draw out the community will. The community will that will help us shape the community that we want for our future. My job here is going to be relatively simple because you get to do the work of speaking, and my job is really just to recognize each speaker. We have 2 microphones in the center aisle, and to make our process as efficient as possible, because we want to have as many people speak as possible, we'd like you to form 2 different lines so that we can rotate from one microphone to the next without any much time in between. Whatever speakers address will be recorded up here by Karen and Maureen. And there's one more part to trying to keep this process moving quickly and efficiently, and that is that Herb is going to be monitoring the time. We have about 30 minutes. We'd like to have about 30 speakers, which means we have about 1 minute for each individual person. And Herb is going to wave his hand, which has 5 fingers, which means there's 5 seconds left in the minute. So at this time, we do invite you to, if you would have some input, a comment, a remark, to move to the center aisle, and you can, several people can move at the same time and form a line there at the 2 different mics.
I would just like to remind people, although we focused on Burlington Northern, Canadian Pacific is in the north part of La Crosse, and if you noticed on the video, Canadian Pacific there was a major player. So I don't want to just focus on Burlington Northern. We've got 2 major carriers in La Crosse, and for people to be aware that the north side has an incredible impact, and the swing bridge across from La Crescent is noted by Representative Walz as dangerous before a congressional hearing. Just wanted to make that clear.
My name is Wayne Teschner. I'm a member of AMOS, and I've got 2 questions. One is, are there any plans for evacuation of our schools that are right next to or very close to our train lines now, and how would that be facilitated? And another question would be, is there any way that we can require the railroads by mandate or by law or local law that they would have to pay for any cleanup and restoration? Thank you.
Do we have an emergency response person here who could respond to the first part of the question?
No.
No? Okay.
At this time, we're recording the questions, we're writing them down. We're not going to take the time in this 30 minutes to respond to each question that's raised, but we will have these questions help us push the dialogue forward.
I'm Joan Much. I live down on Ray Place, which is right a block and a half south of the Central Football Field. We've lived there for almost 51 years. We're the second house from the railroad tracks. We have lots and lots of trains going by, and I would say it would be nice if during the evening, if somebody had a gun to see how fast those trains are going. I know they're going at least 50 to 60 miles per hour.
A radar
You know, those speed guns. I've lived there for 51 years, and my house has never shaken as much as it has in the last 2 years. and when these trains are going by. And also along the railroad tracks should be inspected because the spikes are up at least an inch. And they should be checked. The railroad tracks have to be checked to make sure that they're holding it safe.
Thank you very much. Others can come to the mic while the speakers.
Hello, my name is Rose White. My husband Dale and I have lived in the city for almost 4 years. Before I came to the meeting, I spoke with my daughter on the phone. She lives in McKinney, Texas, and that's a suburb north of Dallas. And she says that when the train goes through their area, the cars sometimes block the city residential streets for up to 2 hours. And that there are occurrences where children try to crawl under the train to get home.
Thank you.
Barbara McPeak, and I live in a lovely mobile home community on the far, far side, south side. And I've been there 10 years now, and the number of times that our community has been completely blocked because there is only one way out has increased, and the length of time that we've been blocked. There is no other way out. There's a significant noise factor. I have to cover my ears, even in the house. I can't hear the TV, I can't hear the phone. Things fall off the mantle, the fireplace. There's just a great concern, and the number that's coming through, and the speed, as she mentioned also, is quite a factor. And some days I can't get out. I don't know if I have to leave for work half an hour early or 15 minutes early, because I might be stopped due to the length of the number of trains going through. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say that this fight is winnable, but it requires recognizing the larger context that it's part of. There's 2 ways to solve a problem. You can either make it smaller by breaking it down into components, or make it bigger by recognizing that it's maybe just a facet of a much larger issue. For us, like this issue is geographically and socially massive, and it ties into environmental and fossil fuel issues that span the entire world. So we've got to recognize that, first off. And to that end, we should start by, of course, reaching out to other communities. This is not a locally La Crosse exclusive issue, and pursue a wide variety of strategies. Legal and political are important, but so are economic and social ways of affecting the railroad companies. For example, if they expect to make $1 billion off of this, maybe boycotts or other strategies could cause them to lose $2 billion if they pursue this. And we also have to recognize and understand that NIMBYism is not good enough. This is an issue that specifically affects us locally, but again, is tied into much, much larger issues. So if we want safety for ourselves, we have to actively pursue potential threats to our local community and neutralize them before they come to our doorstep. We have a moral obligation to assist others to become as well off as us, in addition to the specific ways in which it affects us.
I hate to be rude, but we're going to have to...
Okay, so to that end, let me invite you to an event on May 7th at Valhalla. And you'll be well. I have some flyers remaining, but please, you've got to see this issue is bigger than just us.
I have some comments about the disabled. My name is Barbara Strome.
Closer to the mic.
Closer? My name is Barbara Strome. Is it on? Okay. My name is Barbara Strome. I have comments about the disabled who live in residential areas. I have a question about how to evacuate a disabled person from a home in case of one of these explosions we've just seen. And there is an adult daycare center right next to the yard at Kane and Windsor Street. So we've seen that we shouldn't have these tankers next to infant daycare, but don't forget the disabled.
Thank you.